Wake up. Let's look at some Bitcoin shots.
Nope.
Nothing has changed.
Yo, what's going on this morning, guys? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Happy Memorial Day. Hope everyone's having fantastic. We got a big crowd in here this morning. Holy moly, on a holiday morning. I can't believe it. Holy moly. What's going on, man? What's up, Elliot? I see the brown kid in here. I see Ivan. I see Mike. I see Jazz. I see Prickly Preppy. I see Mike. Another Mike. Dan, the last Dan. What's going on, man? What's going on? Another pretty decent day in Bitcoin, right? We got to move up for BTC. We're coming back down a little bit right now. Can we trust this move for Bitcoin? That's the question that a lot of us are wondering right now. Bitcoin came back up to the top of range. Can we trust this move, right? As the bull market back on, are we gonna go up? That is sort of the question here this morning. What's going on, Angelo? Felipe, Griff, what's up, bro? What's up, Andrew? All right, guys. Listen, if you guys could smack up that like button, it helps out the stream. I appreciate you guys when you can do that. Seriously, really helps out. All right, what's going on with BTC here? All right, so we're back up to the top of the range. Has anything really changed, right? Has anything changed according to our good friend Savvy? Okay, we don't want to play it, but that's okay. Nothing's really changed, guys. We're back up to our top of our range, right? I mean, Bitcoin just kind of keeps going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up in this range. And right now, I know we're getting the bulls are getting a little horny, okay? We're getting a little horny. The big green pickles are popping out of the pants, right? But all it really comes down to is we're back at the top of the range, right? We have 1 touch, 2 touches, 3 touches, 4 touches, and now we're back up to the range again. The question is, can we continue higher, or is this move done? All right, is this move done? What's going on, Clancy? Bears still have the bulls by the balls? I will generally agree, right? Let me know in the chat if you're bullish or bearish. Let me actually do a poll here before we get started here, and then I'll tell you guys exactly what I think. Do you trust this pump? You trust this pump to go? Let's say, do you trust this pump to go higher? Let's say that. Do you trust this pump to go higher? Yes or no? In the poll, let me know. You can let me know in the chat. Let me know what you think. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this little pump here. I don't trust this pump. I don't trust this pump one bit. 1, because it's a weekend. 2, because it's a holiday. All right, here in the U.S. And 3, because we have vector candles popping up that tell us that we're going back to the downside like crazy. And 4, because we have all our indicators are showing overbought, and we know what that usually means for Bitcoin, at least recently, right? We know at some point Bitcoin's going to tell us all to screw off. It's going to do what it wants to do. It's not going to care about the indicators, and that's what typically Bitcoin does during bullish phases. But I do not think we're quite at that phase yet. All right, I'll show you guys exactly why. So if we stick to the 4-hour time frame here, right, we got over the 50 EMA. We know last night we were saying, all right, Bitcoin got to close over the 50 EMA, right? If we go back to the hourly time frame, we were looking at this M formation with bearish divergence, so we got a slight move down, right? I said if I was trading during the stream, I would have put in a short at this wick. It would have got a slight move to the downside, but then Bitcoin just said, screw you, massive pump to the upside. You guys can see we got vector candles popping up everywhere. We got 1, we got 2, we got 3 hits to the upside. This most likely will get pulled back down, but that's the thing with Bitcoin. You never really know if it's just going to say screw you or it's just going to keep pumping, right? And that's kind of the thing that separates Bitcoin from a lot of different things is if Bitcoin wants to pick up some momentum, it does not give a shiza about the charts, okay? It doesn't. But if we're just going strictly based off the charts, we did get a move back up. The M formation, slight move to the downside, took this vector candle, and then continued the move to the upside. Now, if we're looking at it now we're kind of back in that same situation as we were before, right? we sort of have the one hit to the upside, second hit to the upside, and now it's pulling back down. The question is, right? The question is Bitcoin going to continue higher here, or is it going to pull back, right, to take this vector candle and this vector candle all the way back down in the mid 29Ks? We also got the 50 EMA coming in right here. Will you get the pullback all the way back down to the 50 EMA, which typically does happen after a big move up like that, to at least retest? And that's what I'm going to wait to see is if Bitcoin is legit. If Bitcoin can come back down, back test the 50 EMA, and hold it, and get a bounce back up, that's when I'll be like, all right, maybe this move can last, right? Maybe this move can last. What's going on, Drunk Bear? You guys drinking coffee this morning? Shortest dream there? Yeah, it's shortest dream. But yeah, so you got the hourly stock RSI topped out, right? Look at this, guys. You got the hourly stock RSI topped out. You got the hourly RSI topped out, right? If you go back to the 4 hour, you got the 4 hour stock RSI topped out. You got the 4 hour RSI was overbought. All right, you got 4 hour vector candles popping up like freaking crazy back down to the downside, right? And there's multiple other things we got popping here. We're also right at resistance, right? Right at the horizontal resistance that's kept us down multiple times, besides one fake out to the upside here, all right? And if we actually go back to the daily chart, you guys can see the daily stock RSI is still topped out. And we're sitting right below that 20 EMA. You guys can see here, we're kind of fighting with the 20 EMA right now in the daily time frame. Can we get back over that? And I'll show you guys, maybe a little fractal. You guys know you love your fractals. You guys love the fractals. New camera? No, not a new camera. It's just a weird little angle on the sun here that's hitting me awkwardly in the face. It probably makes me look a little weird. But it's kind of hitting me awkwardly in the face, and we're kind of going from there. I'll show you guys maybe a little fractal that, kind of looks very, very similar to the current price action we're getting. And we'll kind of go from there. New light? No, not new light, man. I have no light on me. It's just the sun that's coming down and smacking me in the face. It's already dumping. I wouldn't say it's dumping just yet. New camera or went tanning? I didn't go tanning. I was outside for a long time yesterday, though. So maybe that's why. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely didn't get any new lighting. I'll say that, guys. May is over, said Pizza Mike. Nice. All right. So what are we looking at here? Well, this price action right here is actually reminding me a lot of the price action that we had back here in December before we ultimately went lower, right? We had this, you get beat up? What are you talking about, man? You guys are crazy. Makes you look red. Awkward in the face. The sun is beating me in the face right now. I'm not going to lie. But you can see right here.
You get beat up?
We had this downtrend of resistance coming down right here, right? And we sort of had this little, it was very similar to over here, guys. We had this big wick to the downside. We recovered, right? We kind of had this slow little grind to the downside before we ultimately break this downtrend of resistance to the upside, where we came back up and test the 50 EMA, right? Very, very similar to back here in December. And you guys can see we actually had a vector candle here in the daily that Bitcoin actually came back up, took on a wick, back test the 50 EMA, and that's when it came back down, right? You guys can see the formation here. Very, very similar to the current price action we're getting right now, where we had the big move to the downside, right? Recovered back up, slow grind down. Today, it looks like we broke that downtrend of resistance, just like we said. And if you look, it's almost exact carbon copy. We have a daily vector candle up here, all the way back up to like 34K. And the 50 EMA is actually coming right at that level too, right? You see the 50 EMA coming down is actually happened to be right at that level too. Do I think it's going to go to 34K right now? I don't see it. I think if it's going to do that, in my personal opinion, it's going to have a slight pullback first before it continues up. But if we look at the daily time frame, we do expect Bitcoin to come back up to these levels at some point. Doesn't mean it has to happen now. Like, it can happen weeks from now. It can happen months from now. But we do expect Bitcoin to come back up to these ranges at some point. Up to like 34K, and then all the way back up to possibly the high 30Ks at some point, guys, at some point. But the price actions reminded me a lot of backup here. before we eventually had that to move to the downside. So that's something I am watching here as we kind of move on. Gymshark alt season coming. Nice, man. Nice, man. Now, guys, look at something a little bit bullish. All right. Now let's hop off BTC now. Let's go to total 3, which is the altcoin market cap. We know we have a new fractal. We have a new fractal altcoin. This is the total 3 market cap. So this is the market cap of all altcoins. Okay. Excluding Bitcoin and ETH. We know that this fractal, all right, this is a little bit of hopium for the bulls, okay? A little bit of hopium. We know we love fractals on this channel. People love to make fun of the Giordano Inu fractals. This is the same fractal that we've seen from last summer, all right? And we kind of talked about it yesterday, right? We had the move to the downside. If this fractal is going to continue out, we're going to get the move to the upside. Will we see a Wyckoff accumulation in the current same manner in just a smaller term time frames, right, that we saw last summer? So far, the price action has mimicked last summer. All right. Now, we know these fractals don't usually play out. Okay. I mean, nothing's ever going to be 100% accurate up to a T as far as fractals goes. But so far, so good. Right. So far, so good. You have the big dump. You have the retrace. Right. You have the sort of consolidation, second dump, retrace back up. Now, if this was to continue to play out, you would expect something along these lines. And it actually, what's funny about this is it kind of makes sense as far as time frames, right? We know it's a holiday weekend, so you're kind of getting this low volume move up, right? Now, if we go into tomorrow, right? If we go into early next week and we're kind of in this range right here, and we start to dump, right? And then we come back, and then, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know if I like the way the stock market looks right now. The NASDAQ and the S&P actually look really good at the moment. DXY struggling a little bit. I don't know, man. I will say that I'm gaining a little bit more optimism than I had over the course of last week. I will say. I like the way that the DXY looking, and I like the way the NASDAQ's looking at the current moment. We'll take a look at those in a second, but I do like the ways those are looking, man. What's going on, Robert? Let's see. Just check whale alert. No one is selling. Magic pretend squiggly lines. Clint, if the Celtics lost last night, I was gonna go nuts, man. They literally, that would have been the biggest collapse in the history of the NBA playoffs. Right? So if the Heat came back and scored 11 straight points, I think it was 13 straight points to end that game. If Jimmy Butler hit that 3 and the Celtics didn't convert, dude, I would have been livid this morning. I probably wouldn't have streamed this morning. I'm serious. I probably wouldn't have streamed this morning. That would have been the most epic collapse in playoff history. But we won't talk about it. We won. We're going to the finals, man. Let's get it. But I will say I like the way the NASDAQ's looking, man. I like the W formation that the NASDAQ broke out of, right? We know we look for these for reversals, and we have just that right here. And let's see. So we had move back down, move back up, move back down, move back up, W formation, perfect. We broke the neckline of the W formation on the NASDAQ. That's good news for crypto. And we actually look at the weekly time frame. Look at the nice bounce off the 200 EMA. Look at the weekly bullish engulfing candle for the NASDAQ. All right. Now, this doesn't have to last, right? We've seen a similar type thing right here. We had a similar type formation. We had the weekly bullish engulfing. We had 2 more weeks up, but inevitably, we continued the dump, right? So, what we got to see here is really just continued action here on this. I know that's kind of obvious, but we got to see continued action on the NASDAQ. But I like the way that looks right now, short term. Right? And that's one thing that's holding me up and saying maybe Bitcoin could have a little short term move to the upside if the NASDAQ continues to look good. And it's not just the NASDAQ, right? It's the DXY showing a little bit of weakness, right? A little bit of weakness on the DXY. Is that going to last? We'll see. I mean, everyone's talking about inflation's kind of slowing down. Obviously, we still, I don't know, man. If we're gonna talk this way, everyone's talking about inflation slowing down. You know, we still probably have 2 more rate hikes coming up. But the problem is, I see with it being bearish because of those things. is we already know those things are coming, right? So the huge question mark I think with investors is, are we going to get more rate hikes after the next two? That's the question. But as far as the next two, we already know those are coming. So it remains to be seen. We got to see how the inflation numbers come out going forward, man. And we know we have our inflation trend line, right? We know we love this inflation trend line. Let's go look at Shiza. What is it, man? Inflation. Shiza, man. What is it? I forget what it's freaking called at this point. Here we go. U.S. inflation rate. Let's actually turn this to like this. There we go. The old little U.S. inflation rate. Let's zoom out. We know we have our little trend line going. A little trend line. Which, we kind of talked about, is this all programmed? Like, we talked about this. Is this going to be a top for inflation? And then before we start moving back down. Listen, we get more stimmies after rate hikes? I don't know about that, man. But literally, I mean, 1 touch, 2 touches, 3 touches, 4 touches, right? I mean, this is all programmed, man. This is all programmed. It's a giant conspiracy theory. But we're coming up on that level on the inflation rate. Will this get rejected again? Just like it did this time, like it did this time, like it did this time. And you're inevitably right at that level again. So let's see. I know the U.S. isn't obviously the whole world, but it kind of controls, I guess, the markets, I guess. So it is what it is. There's no TA for inflation. Rich buddy. No shit, man. I love you, Rich buddy, but that was a pencil neck comment. Obviously, I know that's not true. I just think that it makes sense. Or it's really funny that you got this trend line here. But I know. I'm not an idiot, okay? I know there's no TA for inflation rate. I'm not an idiot. Let's see. Inflation relief stimmies. The U.S. is the whole world. All right. Let's continue on. So, 30,437. So Bitcoin is chilling right now. I still think it's going to have a pullback before it rises back up. But I mean, the weekly. Are we finally going to get a weekly green candle this week? Let me know in the chat. Let's have a little pump song. I'm feeling dancy this morning, man. You make quality of video better. You gotta change your quality on YouTube, man. You gotta change your quality on YouTube, my guy. You're probably on like 240p. You gotta press the little settings button in the bottom of the YouTube video, and then change it to 720 or 1080, whatever your computer can handle, my guy. But yeah, can we get a green candle? I know it's only Monday, so I mean, we gotta wait to see. But it's good to see a little green on the weekly, isn't it? Holy moly, man! It's really nice. Really nice to see some green on the weekly. We haven't seen that in 2 months. It feels like an eternity. It's holiday, so maybe fake out. There you go, Bruce. We love the little fake out pump, but there's so many things going on in the markets right now. We got to see how the stock market reacts tomorrow, man. Because the stock market looks like it wants to rebound a little bit. But the issue we're having is Bitcoin's having this little holiday pumpy pump. So, I mean, will Bitcoin do something like this going for the rest of the day today? Will Bitcoin have, and this is sort of just speculation, will Bitcoin have the retrace back to the 50 EMA for the rest of the day today? And then tomorrow, right, it retakes all these areas. Awesome. Woohoo! We retake all the areas. Tomorrow, stock market pumps back up. Bitcoin comes back up too. I think that's a logical scenario, at least in my case, right? You come back down, take these vector candles, retrace to the 50 EMA, bounce back up with the stock markets tomorrow, right? Bitcoin kind of resets its indicators here on the 4-hour, resets its indicators on the hourly, right? The daily stocks are still topped out, which I can't get too excited for a major move, but and then maybe Bitcoin comes up maybe a little bit higher here, back to 50 EMA in the daily, takes this vector candle, and then comes back down. I mean, that would fit a lot of different things that we're looking at, but ultimately, we gotta wait mostly till tomorrow, man. Fake out, please, market. Fake out, please, market. I don't know. Let's find out. George 5-hour pump stream today. Nice. Quality of content of the video. You know what, Mike? You're one of the best trolls I've ever seen, man. Mike's a pretty good troll. Who do you guys think is the best troll in our chat? Let me know. Let's see the poll. So do you trust this pump to go higher? 39% said yes, 61% said no. So a lot of disbelief in the market. And I'm kind of there too. I have disbelief right now. But you know what the difference between me having disbelief and other people having disbelief? My bags are packed, right? So if I'm wrong and Bitcoin, this is a real Bitcoin pump, guess what? I'm happy too. If I'm right and Bitcoin dumps, again, I'm happy. It is what it is. So either way, it doesn't matter. And that's why you should have skin in the game. Because at some point, Bitcoin is going to have a rally that you're not expecting. You're going to keep saying it's a fake pump. It's a dead cat bounce. At some point, Bitcoin's going to knock your socks off. And you got to be ready for it, man. That's why I always think you should have some skin in the game. You should never be completely out of the market. That's just my opinion. You guys do your own thing. But it makes me happy. Whatever direction the market goes, I will be gladly happy. But just looking at the charts, I don't trust this pump as of right now. I don't trust this pump, at least for short term. Jordan is king troll. Facts. Let's see. Clint said, seems logical, so it probably won't happen that way. Facts. I got to vote for Mike. Vote for Mike? This is the highest quality stream there is. No one else brings more than I do. Okay? We bring TA, we bring fun. Okay? We bring jokes. 7 in the morning, man. 7 in the morning. Because listen, I don't know about you guys, but try to. I guess I can't say that. I can't say that. Never mind. I can't say that. God made trolls too. Not glamorous, but a necessary thing. Keeps us fresh. True. Vote for Jabba. How's Jabba taking this pump? Guys, it's too early for me. It's too early for Jabba and Bob. It's too early for Jabba and Bob, man. Listen, they come and have guests on the night stream. Okay, it's too early for Bob and Jabba. Holy moly, man! Bob and Jabba are still sleeping right now. Maybe we can see what they're doing. Jabba, you up, bro? You up? Jordan, I'm trying to sleep. I have a massive short in. Don't wake me up. I need my beauty sleep. Savvy. Just having a dream about Savvy. All right, 30,527. Oh, God. BTC dumping is going to 8 to 10K. Nice. Maybe you were still half asleep. You don't look beaten up as much anymore. You got it, man. You know where I'm looking at. All right, let's go look at ETH. Everyone's favorite coin, ETH. Is ETH dead? That's my favorite question, man. ETH is dead. That's my favorite. That's my favorite comment out of any comment I get. It's literally, is ETH dead? So ETH, is this W formation going to play out, right? I mean, the one thing I was looking at is that Bitcoin didn't have that second drop, so it was kind of skeptical. But we still have the W formation, right? We had the wick. We perfectly came back down and took the wick. We actually perfectly, look at that. We came back up, took this vector candle here in the daily. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So far, so good on that. The question is, will ETH come and take this daily vector candle here, right? This is sort of the same thinking as BTC, right? Right here. Shorter term time frames, you're probably a little shot, but let's stick to the daily right now. We have this vector candle up here. We have the 50 EMA coming back down on the daily. Same type of thing. The most logical thing, in my opinion, is, you know, today we had a big move to the upside. We have a slight little correction the rest of the day today, right? I mean, Bitcoin's going to do whatever it wants to do, how it wants to do it, when it wants to do it. So keep that in mind. What seems logical is a little bit of a retrace, back down a little bit, and then, you know, a move back up, a little fake W formation, back up to the 50 EMA, take this vector candle, and then kind of go from there. Try to see what goes from there. Let's wait till that happens. But that would make kind of some sense, right? If you look at the 4-hour time frame on Ethereum, it's sort of the same process, right? We're coming back down to test the 50 EMA. For Ethereum, this could give us a little bit of clue. And if we look, man, we just cannot hold that 50 EMA, right? Last time we got back over that, you can see we got a slight move back above, and then we popped right back down to the downside. We're getting that move back up right now. The issue is we have vector candles below the 50 EMA. So I cannot be too pumped about this move for Ethereum, right? We have 1 hit, we have 2 hits, we have 3 hits. We have the rejection here at about 1900, right? We're coming back down to test the 50 EMA. But can we hold it? We'll find out. We'll find out. Ultimately, I do think you're going to come back down and take these levels before we possibly have the reversal back to the upside. But that remains to be seen. That remains to be freaking seen. I don't think we hold it. I don't think we hold it, but let's find out. Let's find out. But a lot of things going on here on Ethereum. I do think you're going to come back down to take at least about 1800 before possibly moving back up to the upside. But once again, that remains to be seen. Vector candle is the peak we to start drinking. Vector candle is a candle that comes in that is a high volume candle, right? High volume candle, which usually means that the market makers are building longs or shorts at those areas, right? So to use like Ethereum as an example, what the market makers do is they push the price up when you see high volume. That means that the whales are building, right? So right here, the whales are probably building. I mean, it's not exact science, but right here, you would think that the whales, you have 3 hits to the upside, right? They're laddering in their shorts. 1, 2, 3, whales ladder in their shorts. You would expect price to move back down so the whales can take profits on those shorts, right? They move price back down, right? They make money on their shorts. Awesome. Right? And then normally what you'll see is vector candles come in with building longs, and then they move the market back up, make profits on the longs, right? That's sort of the process on the vector candles, if you didn't understand what they mean. But I know a lot of people don't understand what that means, so it is what it freaking is. It is what it freaking is. All right, so now we wait. There's no volume. Nice, man. Everyone say ADA, and he will speak about it. ADA. Ah, lordy. ADA. ETH is dead, said Prolific. ETH is dead. All right. Let's see. Thank you for explaining. No problem. Just be bullish. Listen. I sometimes I forget people don't know what I'm talking about. So listen, man. I've been doing this for so long now. Sometimes I forget that most people that look at this stuff like they don't really understand, and that's my fault. I think sometimes I say stuff without explaining, and I need to do a better job of saying stuff without explaining for sure. Holy moly, man. What else can we look at? All right, tether dominance. Look at tether dominance, man. This is something I'm watching very, very closely, right? Before we jump on into BTC, the reason why I'm looking at tether dominance is obviously there's an inverse correlation. There's an exact... Oh, here comes the coffee. The coffee's coming up. Good morning to everyone who's coming in the stream right now. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Memorial Day. As we sit here and watch the charts, it's a beautiful, beautiful day to have a morning stream, man. Celtics won last night. I didn't drink too much, so I'm feeling pretty nice this morning. And it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Let me know if you're having a beautiful day in the chat, man. Let me know. Gulping water like a horse. Water's the key to life, man. Water, sleep, and I would say water, and sleep mainly. Right? Let's see. Why are you so jealous of ADA? I'm not jealous of ADA. ADA is one of the altcoins that I hold still. All right, why am I watching Tether dominance? We know that Tether dominance to a T is inversely correlated to Bitcoin. As Tether moves down, okay? As Tether moves down, Bitcoin price moves up. As people move money out of Tether, price moves down. Now, why am I looking at this? You might be saying, Jordan, why the hell are you looking at this, bro? This doesn't matter at all. This doesn't matter whatsoever. Well, the reason why I'm looking at this, as I spit, I just spit all over my computer, man. I just spit all over my computer. The reason why I'm looking at this, where's my guy? Let's jump back into the Bitcoin charts. They're spitting all over my chest right now. They're spitting all on my computer, all over my chest, as I have a beautiful, beautiful beach hair in the background. Yes, guys, I am wearing no shoes. And yes, the Bitcoin charts are moving back into the upside here. And I do think that I am going to ladder in my shorts here for Bitcoin. No, oh God, the lips. Why am I looking at this? Well, if we look at where this has topped out in the past, and this is sort of just speculation. This is March of 2020, right? We topped out right here. Bitcoin had a nice recovery from March of 2020 to about May of 2020, right? Had a nice little recovery. This right here, September of 2020, that was obviously the start of the bull market in 2020, right? We tested this right here in June of 2021. That was obviously relatively the start of the rally last summer. And look where Bitcoin is right now. We had a slight wick back above. That could have just been people moving whatever was left of their Terra into a different stable coin. So keep that in mind. But we had to slick back above, but we are right at that level again. So, and we're kind of we're just in this big channel. Every time we test this, we come back down to the downside, right? So here's what I'm watching on this. Will this get rejected, right? Will this get rejected and move back down to the downside? The reason why I think it could, and if you look at this very, very closely, guys, and this is some top tier analysis, so hit the like button. I'm just kidding. This is. I actually think this is good analysis. Normally, I would be kidding when I say that, but I think it is. Hit that like button for the good analysis, man. We have look at where we are in the charts, right? We had the big wick to the upside, which means we're getting a lot of rejection at these current levels, all right? And also look what's going on here, right? Look, every single time we come up and test this level, you have a yellow vector candle, you recover it, right? You have a yellow vector candle, you recover it. You have a yellow vector candle, you recover it. And look what Bitcoin's making over here. Two little cute yellow vector candles, right? Which typically in the past means that you're gonna recover those candles, right? So for the bullish case, are we gonna see Bitcoin get rejected from this range? This is the weekly chart. It doesn't have to happen right away. But will we see Bitcoin reject from this range and come back down again, which has historically meant Bitcoin price goes up, right? Very, very interesting stuff. And I'm watching this like a hawk right now. So let's see. This is a very interesting setup that we've seen last 4 times it's played out. I'm watching this like a freaking hawk. And if this plays out again and we come back down, we take these vector candles back down here after rejection from the top, it's going to be beautiful. So this is for the bullish case, for the bulls to get a little horny, possibly, right? This is some hopium, but I do like what tether dominance looks like, man. I do like what it looks like, and keep that in mind, right? Keep that in mind. This is a little makes the bulls a little horny there. Let's see. MM could be on a tightrope above the Grand Canyon. Nice. Let's see. Gap is still pumping while Bitcoin is dumping. Oh, yeah, man. We're going to have a massive, massive, massive gap back down. Massive, massive vector candles back down. Right? So it's going to be very, very interesting.
Remember
This is why...
Memorial Day 2022 region,
Facts.
letter U, region, letter S.
Facts, 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 facts. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. Absolute facts. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Phil, for the super chat, man. And thanks for the kind words for everyone out there. Next, I said, this is why I was asking if it pumps to 38K at some point in the future. I do think it's going to come back up there, right? I definitely think Bitcoin's going to have a retrace back up to the high 30Ks. It's just a matter of when, right? I definitely think, and that's why I have this red box up here, because eventually it's going to come back up to this range. It's just a matter of when it wants to do it, right? You have the 200-day EMA coming back up here. You guys can see the 200-day EMA is slowly coming back down to this range, And we also have a pink vector candle up here. So a lot going on up here. I do think that we're going to come back up and take this range at some point. Will it be now? I'm still expecting Bitcoin to do something like this, right? And move back down over the course of today, right? Reset this a little bit and fill any gaps tomorrow. And then to see Bitcoin make its way back to the upside, right? Make its way back to the upside going into next week, with the stock markets looking relatively strong. So something along those lines is what I expect over the course of the next couple days. Something like this. That's kind of what I expect to happen. Right? Something along those lines, and Bitcoin goes a little bit higher. And it just doesn't make sense for BTC to pump. It's I guess I don't know. I'm starting. It's not because of the price action. For me, it's more so more the macro talks, right? It's not even Bitcoin pumping that's getting me a little bit iffy, like a little bit more optimistic. It's a multitude of different things. It's the stock market recovering a little bit. It's the DXY showing a little bit sign of weakness. It's tether dominance hitting resistance, right, which it has in the past. It's a couple. It's you know, people talk about inflation slowing down. We know about the next 2 rate hikes. You know, I'm a little bit more optimistic medium term than I was a little bit. It's not because the price action's going up, but it's more so, you know, a lot of these macro things, a lot of things outside of Bitcoin are looking a little bit better than they were, a little bit better than they were before, right? It's not so much the Bitcoin price. I'm still not sold on this current pump for BTC. We got to wait to see a little bit more confirmation, but I will say that. Macro picture is looking strong in the short term. True. Is it going to drop by tonight's stream? Watch Tino. He has a whole video dedicated to vector candles. Thank you, Clint. Clint's being like super helpful in the chat today. Clint, I love you, man. Why are you being so helpful in the chat today? I shouldn't say why, but that's like saying Clint is such a terrible guy. Why is he being such a help in the chat today? No, thank you, Clint. Thank you, Clint. Yeah, Tito, Trader's Reality. He can explain the vector candles a little bit more better than I can. I'm like I said, I'm still learning myself. So, but the general premise of vector candles is high volume candles that whales typically build their shorts and longs in, and they always come back up to take that liquidity or realize profits on their current trades at those levels. You would have to look into it a little bit more to truly understand. All right. So now we wait. Still expecting something along these lines. Clint said, "Do I see it dropping by tonight?" I don't care too much about time frames, Clint. I know you hate that answer, but I do think over the course of today, it does make itself back to the 50 EMA. Where the 50 EMA right now is at 29.7. That moves up every hour that goes by. But I do think by tonight we will see Bitcoin back at the 50 EMA, because we still have what, 9 hours. Yeah, I will definitely say by tonight you'll see Bitcoin back down at the 50 EMA. If I'm wrong, but whatever, it is what it is, because you never know Bitcoin. Bitcoin could have like one more move to the upside and then come back down, right? You know with Bitcoin, like last night I thought we were going to pull back. We had a slight pullback, but then Bitcoin mooned. Right, so you could see maybe a slight pullback, and then Bitcoin goes again, and then comes back down. Right, so ultimately I think it comes back down, but I'm not too much worried about time frames, I guess. Clint bought at 30,900. Lordy. Lordy. Drunk Bear said you staying on until the market open tomorrow morning. I would do that. I would do that. But no. M said, thanks for liquidity. Best wishes, market maker. Let's see. Golden State Warriors will own the Celtics and end it in Game 5. We'll see, man. We'll see. I will say the Warriors had a very, 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 very easy road to the finals. I will say the Warriors arguably had, in my opinion, the easiest road to the finals in NBA history. Think about who they played, man. They played the Mavericks, which, bro, any of the top 5 teams in the East would beat the Mavs. That's who they played in the Western Conference Finals. They played the Grizzlies, who are just a young team still gaining experience. Not, in my opinion, not the greatest team in the world. I mean, for what? I mean, for a 3 seed, were they 2 seed? Yeah, they were 3. I mean, the Grizzlies, they're in my opinion, they were whatever. I think either the top 5 teams would have beat the Grizzlies as well in the East. And who the hell did they play in the first round, man? The Nuggets. I mean, a Nuggets team without Jamal Murray. Man, that was one of the easiest roads they had in the finals, man. But, yeah, the Celtics will definitely be the best team they play so far. Because, the Western Conference used to be the stronger conference, but the Western Conference kind of sucks now, to be honest. It does. Why YouTube changed the channel info under the screen makes it harder to find stuff like the channel and the info and the like button. I have no idea, Bob. I have no idea, man. All right. Warriors in 5, maybe 6. No. All right, Bitcoin's coming back down a little bit. Let's see if it continues this move down slightly on the new day. Slightly on the new day. What else you guys want to look at? Let me know in the chat. We're going to hang out for a little bit longer on this beautiful, beautiful Monday. It is a beautiful Monday today, man. It's a holiday. It's Memorial Day. Like I said, Celtics won last night. It's hard not to be in good spirits. I had a good massage yesterday. It was great. It was great. It's going to be a good finals. Oh, 100%. Like I said, Jordan is a legend. He won stream for 12 hours straight. I did. That was, it's harder than you think. Like, you think it's easier to just sit here and talk for 12 hours. Listen, man, it's not easy to sit here and talk consistently for 12 hours. And I remember that day was so boring. Like, I remember Bitcoin was pumping every day. And of course, the one stream that I do for 12 hours, Bitcoin didn't do shiza. That was it was a fun stream though. A lot of people hung out for the whole 12 hours, which was absolutely nuts. That was fun. We're gonna do another one of those at some point. I had a lot of fun doing that one, man. We'll do another one of those at some point. I just want the market to recover a little bit, and maybe we'll do a longer stream. But that was absolutely nuts, man. I didn't take one break. I forget what I did. What did I do, man? For 12 hours. I don't even know what I did for 12 hours, to be fair. You never did the 24-hour stream last year when Bitcoin hit all-time high? Last year we were going to do the 24-hour stream when Bitcoin hit 100K. But obviously that didn't happen, so. There you go, man. At some point, we will do it. We'll do the 24-hour stream next time Bitcoin hits all-time high. And we'll do a 12-hour stream when Bitcoin hits 50K. That's sort of the thing I'm going with here. So since America's closed for Memorial Day, is the rest of the world market open? Yeah. The issue we're having this weekend, guys, is Bitcoin's making a massive gap to the downside, right? Massive gap on the downside, right? What's today? Monday, right? So you got markets are closed. So think about this for a second. Markets are closed, right? So you had Saturday, you had Sunday, you had Monday. So you're building a huge gap all the way back down to like 28,006. You're building a massive gap here, right? This whole thing is going to be a freaking gap. A huge gap, right? Not just a small gap, a huge gap right here. So that's sort of the issue we're having right now. And that's why, like, I want to get pumped for this pump, but it's a weekend pump, and I can't trust weekend pumps. Why? Because you're going to build a huge gap, right? And quite frankly, I mean, you really didn't do much. You're still in the range. I know everyone's getting pumped today. Everyone's getting horny on Twitter. All the bulls are getting horny on Twitter. Super, super horny. They're like banging each other and stuff in the comment section. But yeah, man. I mean, you're still in your range, right? You just got rejected from the range highs. Nothing really changed there, right? I'll show you a huge gap. We're building a base. We're building a huge base. A huge base. All right. Maya feverishly shorting Bitcoin in the background. She would. She's super bearish right now. I don't understand the gap. It's when the stock markets are closed. So in theory, I mean, it's kind of weird, right? It's when the CME is closed, right? So theoretically, you always come back down to take those levels that you move to the weekend. Like if say if Bitcoin dumped during the weekend, you expect it to come back up to where at least where it closed. So this would be the Friday close, right? And then you theoretically for the weekend, say if you dump during the weekend, you would expect it to come back up and close that gap. Doesn't have to happen right away, but it usually does. And same thing to the upside. Like if this was the Friday close right here and you pump during the weekend, you would expect it to come back down and take that gap, basically. I mean, that's the gist of it. Okay, so whatever move you see in the weekend, typically it retraces that move at some point. It doesn't have to be like the next week, but at some point you usually come back down to those levels. That's a weird W. I don't think the W is finished yet, man. So this is not a finished W. I still think we're coming back down lower. Nothing's changed on my daily time frame. Besides the fact that maybe Bitcoin goes boop, 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 but then comes boop, 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 boop. Nothing's changed on that end. Still think we're coming lower. But the macro is looking better. So though short term I might be still bearish, medium term is looking a lot better to me. Long term, always bullish. I would say right now I'm a little bit, I would say short term, still bearish. Medium term, I would say neutral. And long term, obviously bullish. And the gap said, take that. CME gap is 28.9. Jim said that's just a fancy way of telling people it's going to go up and down, down and up. Thanks, Jim. Then we got Jim in the chat. Where's Jabba? Jabba is sleeping right now, man. Jabba and Bob sleep in the morning. If you try to wake up Bob, he goes nuts. You want to see what Bob does in the morning when you wake him up? Here you go. I'll show you guys. Here you go.
Nope.
That's what Bob does in the morning, man. So you don't want to wake him up, man. He goes nuts. Oh man, Bob could be pranking. All right, so that's it. Someone said lifer shorted, bad move. No, good move, man. This was the most obvious short in history of Bitcoin. In my opinion, yet 1 hour is overbought, 4 hours overbought on RSI and stock RSI. You had vector candles to the downside of the 1 hour and 4 hour. You had M formation, right, on the 1 hour. You had you're right at resistance, right? I mean, it is the easiest short in history of Bitcoin. And once again, I would have shorted again, right at this level right here. Same thing as yesterday. Yesterday I said I would have shorted this wick, and it went down a little bit, right? Took the yellow vector candle. I probably would have took profits there, and not all of them. I probably would have kept some. So eventually, I mean, I would have took some profits, probably moved my stop loss into profit, and then it would have got stopped out. But I mean, ultimately, it's kind of the same thinking as yesterday, right? And the problem is we have vector candles back down here, right? Market makers usually come back down and take those zones. So I'm expected to come back down to these general zones down here, to the 50 EMA. And then we'll see what we do from there. You know, you could have a move back up just because the stock markets looked strong last week. But it's really going to depend. The move back up I think it's going to be tomorrow, if anything. Because you got to see how they react to the market open, because the U.S. markets are closed today because of a holiday. So, and we have gaps to the downside. So, a lot of different things showing that we probably go back down from that range. Let's see. Do some BitBoy stuff, guys. It's the morning, man. You killing me. Let me wake up a little bit. Holy moly, man! The Celtics won last night. Let me wake up a little bit. Jeez. Holy guacamole. When Karen gave birth to Bob, she called him his beautiful little angel. Imagine Bob when he was born. Right? He's popping out of the socket. Hold on. Oh, my beautiful angel. Isn't he beautiful, Robert? Isn't he beautiful? Meatloaf! What is that? Oh, that one. When did we panic? 33.56. Someone said, who is Bob? You got a long way to go, man. You don't know who Bob is. All right. Yeah. So that's the gist. That's the gist. I'm feeling more optimistic, guys. I'm feeling more optimistic. Once again, not because Bitcoin's pumping. I'm not a moon boy. It's not because the Bitcoin price is pumping. All right. I think it's coming back down. But a lot of things other than Bitcoin look good, right? Stock market looks good. DXY looks good. Tether dominance looks good. Other things are starting to look a little bit better than they were not too long ago. So, take that for what you will. Take that for what you will. Compare this to the descending triangle on BTC to ADA 120 support 3 months ago. Compare this to descending triangle on BTC to ADA 120 support 3 months ago. I mean, I don't know if you can compare Bitcoin to ADA, you know. We can go look at ADA. Who still owns ADA? Let me know in the chat. Who still owns ADA? It's probably a lot less people than used to. Let's see ADA. Wait, is this ADA on the monthly? Oh, it's not on log. I was like, oh my god. It's not on log chart. There we go. Let's look at ADA on the monthly. Oh, lordy. Let's go to the weekly. Let's stick to the weekly chart. The monthly is a little bit too long. The descending triangle on ADA. Well, that broke down a long time ago. What are we looking at here? Oh, lordy. I think ADA came back down to relatively the spot you would want it to, right? I don't know. To me, it came back down to relatively the spot you wanted it to come back down to. And overall, it looks pretty much the same as Bitcoin, right? You have the wick to the downside, came back up, came back down, right at the 20 EMA. Like Bitcoin's sitting right at the 20 EMA. We got to see if we break back over that, right? We've had some trouble in the past with that. If you could look back in the past, I mean, it loves to reject either off the 20 or the 50. I think the big question for me is, do we stop here, or do we go to the daily 50 EMA, right? On most of these cryptos, like, it's obviously going to depend what Bitcoin does. I mean, I think we all know this, but Let's look left. See if we got anything over here. Yeah, so we actually came back down and took this vector candle here, which is nice. Which is very, very nice. Very, very nice. So yeah, this could be a spot where Cardano reverses, at least temporarily. At least temporarily. It's kind of the same thinking as BTC, right? You might have a slight retrace at the 50 EMA, and then you kind of go from there. Like if the markets look better, okay, maybe we can finally break over that 50, right? But until then, it's a wait and see game. It's a wait and see game to see what Captain BTC does. I just think looking at altcoin charts, other than if you're going to look at them as a whole, I think it's kind of stupid. It's kind of stupid in my opinion. Clint said, how about KDA? Acting like all alts? Yes, Clint. Yes, Clinty boy. True said, I just sell my ADA to JJ. Nice, dude. I suspect BTC Dom going to pump. Yeah, I mean, it's BTC Dom until we actually have any strength, showing of strength in the market. We're not talking a little bit of a 2% pump for BTC. I know all the bulls are getting horny today. Bitcoin's up 3%, right? So until we see real strength, it's sort of one of those things. It's like, I can't wait for George's video today. He's going to be like, Bitcoin's pumping. But yeah, right here, yeah, if this level breaks here in Bitcoin Dom, it's going to continue up. And it's not really showing any signs of weakness. Bitcoin Dom is going to continue up until Bitcoin makes a sustained rally, right? It was even last summer. If we look at like July, really where Bitcoin was kind of accumulating at the lows. I mean, Bitcoin dominance continued to rise throughout that territory. It's usually until Bitcoin shows a sustained rally, right, and breaks key resistance points. That's when Bitcoin dom usually starts to come back down. But right now we don't really have that. So until that happens, I expect Bitcoin dominance to continue up, which is why I moved most of my alts to Bitcoin and also Ethereum. George might be on the beach looking through them sunglasses again. True. Let me see you guys here. Fractal Inu for ADA. Fractal Inu. Let's see. Luna's gonna go down. Sure. Did you say, where's all the hot cows at? I'm a horny bolt. I don't know, man. Go on Twitter. Ronnie said, listen, degenerates, we aren't going to the moon. Don't blow your wad on this little move. Thank you, Rodney. Thank you, Rodney. Sometimes I don't want to be the one to say it. So thank you, Rodney. Appreciate it. Drew, I cannot agree with you more, dude. George needs a vacation, man. You know, like I said, I want to feel bad for him, but I don't because he does it to himself. But yeah, I mean, like Drew said in the chat, selling hopium for as long as he has got to be tiring. Facts. Talk about the same thing every single day, and that's why I wanted to start talking about shorter term moves sometimes because, dude, it's. Talk about longer term moves when you're just in a range gets tiring for sure. So I understand where he needs a vacation for sure. Or just needs to start talking about something different. You know what I mean? But listen, George is not wrong in a vacuum, right? I know we sort of make fun of George a little bit here. He's not wrong in a vacuum, right? DCAing and holding for the long term, you'll make, in theory, based off history, that you'll make money, right? There's nothing wrong with that. That's what I do. Okay, but yeah, I think George would feel better if he just admitted that the market is bearish, right? And stop calling it a bearish trend. It's not a trend at this point. Just call it for what it is, right? And I think he would feel better, right? He would feel a lot better. Frank said you won't get these prices again in a few years. I agree, Frank. I agree. And that's why, you know, sometimes I separate short-term moves from long-term moves. You know, And a lot of people, they come into the stream and they're like, oh my God, look, Jordan's bearish for the short term. That does not mean I'm not DCAing and accumulating, man. That does not mean that. I separate my short-term moves from my long-term moves, all right? If I buy something, it's going to stay in crypto. You know what I mean? So if I'm talking about short-term moves, that does not affect my my hodl bags. My hodl bags stay there. They're ready. They're packed to the moon. If we pump now, I will be happy. I will be a horny bull as well. I will be hornier than a horny bull. But if we don't, guess what? I'm just as happy too. Because the longer it takes for Bitcoin to go back up, the more money you'll make in the end. So either way, it's perfect. Because I know where this is going. And it really doesn't matter to me when. It doesn't. It doesn't. You know why? Because sometimes I walk down the street and I'm like, I know where this is going, right? And I walk down the street and I look at someone and I go, this person has no idea what they're missing out on, right? They're just living their life. And they don't know, you know? But I know. And that is the key, is just knowing. And you got to have the patience to know. But it's a good feeling when you're just like, you're just walking down the street. And you know that you're in a life-changing market, in my opinion, right? Life-changing market. And most people don't even know it. Most people don't even know. They just live their life, right? And I think that's the first key step, is just knowing. So everyone that's here, you know, and that's the most important thing, bro. That's the most important thing. It's just knowing that you're already here. And if you've already stuck through it this long, through pretty much for 6, I wouldn't even argue, man. I don't even think last year, like, that was like it was exciting at the time, but I would argue if you've been in this market since April, at least April of 2021, now you're going on over a year of being in this market, where it's really just mostly been pain, right? I mean, you had the slight pump to the upside, but that was kind of a fake. I still don't know if we should have gone this high in theory. But if you've been in this market since April 2021, you have gone through some pain, man. You have gone through some pain. Doesn't mean you can't go through more, but you've been battle tested. And if you've lasted this long, you're gonna freaking make it, man. If you've lasted this long, you're gonna freaking make it. Because yes, the market can go lower, but we've had some grueling weeks. We've gone through 9 weeks of just down, right? Without any rallies to the upside. So if you grinded through these 9 weeks without any rallies to the upside, if you grinded through May when you had a massive 50% crash in like a couple days, you're going to freaking make it. You are battle tested. Your emotions have been tested. And that's the exciting part, man. Bruh, no, bruh. If you don't know, now you know. It's a great song. If you don't know, now you know. Let's see. I've been in this market since April 2021. Nice. Michael said, trading the range is about the only thing we can do at the moment. Facts. Facts. And that's why I want to, listen, I can only say the same things over and over and over again. And quite frankly, I was getting bored of saying the same things over and over and over again. I don't know how George does it. I was getting bored, man. So, hey, we'll start talking about short-term time frame stuff. I'll still talk about long-term time frame stuff, but we're still just in the same range at the end of the day. You guys know my take. My take has not changed. Bitcoin under 30K, I'm accumulating. ETH under 2K, I'm accumulating. As simple as that. Closer we get to 200 SMA, I will ramp up the buys as far as volume goes. That's simple as that. Easy strategy. I feel like I don't have to say anything else. That's really it. Jordan with a cardboard sign. The end is near for Bitcoin. As I hold it like that. I hold it out in New York, just outside in front of, I don't know, really anywhere. The end is near. The bottom is near for Bitcoin. Try to tell people the bottom is near with a sign. George is getting high on his supply. True. My portfolio is down 70% since all-time high. I hate these tests. True. Who licked my hair? Do you like it licked or not licked? Let me know in the chat. How is ETH now? 1879. 1879. So, I mean, ETH has its W formation. Classic W formation, right? Hit to the downside. You came back and took the wick perfectly. Now we're having the move to the upside. I mean, the question that remains is, what is Bitcoin's next move going to be? Does Bitcoin want to come back up, take this range here, come back to the 50 EMA in the daily, after probably coming back down to take this gap on the short-term time frames, right? Short-term time frames, it's probably coming back down, right? Or at least if it has one more pump today, it's going to come back down again, in my opinion, because you're going to have CME gaps, you're going to have vector candles back down here, you're going to be way too overextended from the 50 EMA, but the question is on the daily, after it has that retrace, is it going to want to come back up to come back up here? If it does, you'll probably see Ethereum come back up and take this range back up here towards like 2,200 or so. But that's only if Bitcoin has the move back up. So a lot of it comes back. We're gonna have to wait till tomorrow to see what happens, man. That's what a lot of it's gonna come back down to. But I've said this like 80 times, man. 80 times on the stream today. It's George term bearish. I'm going 100x long. Facts. But he never will. He never will. He never will. That's the problem. Did you see Ben talking about bounce after the lower low, then moving sideways, then capitulation in September? Does anyone really know, man? That's what I came into this market, man. Stick to your gut. Does anyone really know? You know what I mean? That would kind of line up. I mean, I still think we're going to go back to the 200 SMA at some point. I don't think Bitcoin's just going to reverse from this current level. I do think it's going to come back down here to at least the 200 SMA, which actually moved up a little bit this week. It's back up. Now it's up to 22,185. So every week it seems to go up about 150 points or 150 bucks. That's going to continue to move up. I still think we're going to come back down to that range at some point. When it does, I don't know. You could see a rally first before moving back down, which would kind of actually make some sense. Would make some sense if we saw something like that, where we got a slight rally back up, right? Woohoo, 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 over the course of the next, maybe we go up for the next, 1 to 2 months, I don't know. And then we get that move back to the downside, woohoo, 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 200 SMA moves up. We bounce off of it like 24, 25K. We have a bigger W formation then form on the weekly time frame, and that can be the move where maybe we start to build some momentum back to the upside for good. I don't know. Maybe something along those lines. That would make sense. That would make a lot of sense based off my bigger picture thoughts. But it remains to be seen. It definitely remains to be seen. Something along those lines. Drew said, how the hell will he know? It's all just a guess at the end of the day, man. Listen, no one knows, man. Everyone's been wrong at some point. Like, the people who people think have been right? Like, people saying Savvy's right now. Guys, remember Savvy was bearish right here. Savvy was bearish here. Savvy was bearish here, right? Ben Cowan, just remember, same thing. Ben Cowan was bullish here. So was I. I'm not saying I wasn't either. Don't get me wrong. But Ben Cowan was bullish here, trolling the bears, trolling the bears, trolling the bears. Woohoo, woohoo, woohoo. Right? I mean, everyone's been wrong at some point, man. So does anyone really know anything in this market? No. Absolutely not. It's all a guess. It's all anyone's best guess. Just keep that in mind. I mean, you're gonna know just as much as anyone that's making videos on YouTube. So it's all just entertainment. It's all just for discussion, right? It's all for social discussion, but don't take it as financial advice, man. It's literally just talk, in my opinion. It's discussion. It's to hang out. It's to have somewhere to hang out and talk about crypto. That's because let's be realistic. Most people in real life don't know anything about crypto and don't care about crypto. Only know. Crane said, a lot of us swear, find me a perfect person, I'll find you a liar. Facts. Anyone who said they called every single move perfectly, come on, get out of here, man. No one's been perfect. Dude, it can only go up or down. People act like geniuses when they get a 50-50 call right. We have better than casino odds, really. It's true, man. It's true. Whether it's short-term trading, whether it's looking at, trying to find the top or bottom, people act like geniuses. They'll call a top for like, they'll say Bitcoin's bearish for a year straight as Bitcoin pumps, and then as soon as it dumps, they'll be like, see, I told you so, after it pumped up 5x. That's just how people are, man. I told you Bitcoin was bearish. Okay, you missed the whole move to the upside, bro. And it's the same thing as the downside. You know, people were saying bottoms in every day, you know what I mean, for months, and then Bitcoin finally pumps up, and it's like, I told you so. You know, it's always I told you so, and then that's people have very short-term memories. If someone's right for like a month, they think they're a genius, but they forget every other thing they did in the past. That's just the reality of the world, I guess. Your mate Crypto Rover short at the top. I mean, it was that was the easiest short in the book, man. This short right here is the easiest short of the book. Easiest short in the book. I hope he did. If he didn't, if he longed right here, then we would have an issue. He would have a huge issue. All right, guys. On that note, I've been ranting for a little bit. You guys know my thoughts on short-term time frames. We're going to have a huge CME gap to the downside. I do think that gets filled. Might not be exactly tomorrow, but I do think that gets filled at some point next week. NASDAQ's looking good. So ultimately, I expect this to be filled, whether it comes back down over the course of today or it comes back down tomorrow. I expect it to be filled. NASDAQ's looking good. So ultimately, this should bring up Bitcoin a little bit short term. I mean, listen, this could reverse at any point. We're in very, very interesting territory where one news article can change everything. So DXY slowing down a little bit. It's good for Bitcoin. And we're talking about tether dominance. Tether dominance is actually looking really, really good, where it's typically topped when Bitcoin's had moved to the upside. So medium term's looking a little better to me. I'm still neutral. I'm still not fully like horny bull territory for medium term, but it's looking a little better than it was. Short term, still a little bearish. And then ultimately, long term, still bullish as hell, still accumulating, and still getting ready for whenever the next run's coming, right? So stay positive. The people who stick around will be the winners. As always, if you're going to be a salty bear, go away for 2 years and try to FOMO at the top again next time. You're going to go through the next same thing you did this time. So catch you guys later. Adios, my friends. Have a phenomenal Memorial Day. Most people probably have it off if you're working today. Continue to bust. Continue to make that fiat to be able to put it back into crypto. All right, and you won't regret it. Whatever your plan is to buy. All right. Adios, my friends. Have a great day. See you at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you guys are there, and we'll have some fun. We'll have some fun tonight and see what Bitcoin does. All right. Adios, my friends. Peace out.